J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are all set and ready to deliver tons of twists and turns and surprises when it comes to Star Wars Episode 9. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really looking forward to learning more about is, of course, Rey's path in this movie and exactly how the character of Luke Skywalker will be treated in the hands of both J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. However, one of which has all to do with both characters, Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, with Rey on the side. Specifically, a description of both. Rey meditating on a large boulder with R2-D2 in the background, inside of what appears to be a cave, one similar to that on Ahch-To. In front of her is the Force ghost of Luke Skywalker. However, he appears to be solid, very much like Yoda was in The Last Jedi. In front of Luke also is the Force ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi. However, this version of Obi-Wan is different in design, with him being a mixture of both old and young. The apparitions of Luke and Obi-Wan are face to face, with Rey in the middle in the background, still meditating on the boulder. The next goes over both ghosts of Obi-Wan and Luke with their heads turned, looking at Rey, keeping up with her Jedi training. The last goes over a rear shot of Rey, with both Obi-Wan and Luke in the distance watching over her. Obi-Wan's ghost glows more than Luke's, indicating that Luke could be the most powerful Force ghost to date, who is able to take a more physical form than Obi-Wan and Yoda. So I wanted to go over a couple of points here that really do pique my interest when it comes to Episode 9, and of course the whole entire format of introducing cameos into the Star Wars movies, and Obi-Wan Kenobi seems to be one of them. Now, we've seen this common trend with the Disney-era Star Wars films. In each and every movie, we have a major cameo. You know, in, of course, The Force Awakens, it was a glorified cameo, that, of course, being Luke Skywalker, to set up the sequel being, of course, The Last Jedi, which gave us the cameo of Yoda. Then, in both Rogue One and Solo: A Star Wars Story, we got Darth Maul, Leia, Darth Vader, and more. And now going into Episode 9, a lot of people are really just curious as to exactly how they will treat the characters of Luke and Obi-Wan in this film. Now, if this does make it to the final cut of the movie, I think that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be an amazing choice. Could this also be a hint that Rey is a descendant of Obi-Wan Kenobi, perhaps? It's a very, very good idea in my opinion. I think connecting her to one of the legacy characters is probably the best thing to do for the Star Wars franchise, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of you guys out there may disagree with that, and that's okay. Now, as far as this cave scene goes, is this on Ahch-To? We heard a couple of months ago that they filmed very briefly over in Ireland for Star Wars Episode 9, which really, caused a lot of questions to come out and about from the fans, on whether or not we were going back to the planet of Ahch-To, which would then hence mirror the original trilogy where, Rey goes back to Dagobah, or should I say Luke goes back to Dagobah in, of course, Return of the Jedi, and his first arrival there was in, of course, The Empire Strikes Back. So it could be Rey's situation here in the sequels where, in the middle film of the trilogy, and in the first, technically, she goes to Ahch-To. Final film, she returns there and meets up with the Force ghost of Luke, hence she then gets to see the ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. Now, what do I think about this? I think that this is going to be the very scene in which Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Rey, these are your first steps. Again, there's a reason as to why J.J. Abrams dropped that line of dialogue by Obi-Wan Kenobi, which, by the way, was a mixture of both Ewan McGregor and, of course, Sir Alec Guinness, alright? So, there's a deep reason as to why J.J. did that. I don't believe he did that just for fun and just for fans to hear it and kind of like have fun over it. I think he did that for a real reason, and I think it's a big hint to either her lineage or a major cameo to come in Episode 9. And I believe that that line of dialogue was from the future of what was to be revealed in a future Star Wars film at the time. That, of course, now being Episode 9. So, with that being said, if you look at the flashback sequence, it goes from the past to the future. and the latest part of that vision was the Obi-Wan Kenobi voice. So with that being said, you know, how Luke Skywalker gets to meet up with Obi-Wan Kenobi once again face to face in episode 9, I think is going to be a beautiful thing on screen. The only skeptical thing in my opinion is, of course, well, the whole entire concept of combining both elements of him being old and young for the character of Obi-Wan. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. We've been hearing about this on and off for a while now, and I think it's not only a way to sell more toys, but I think it's also a way to make things different for the sequel trilogy that can make it stand on its own. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that they should stick to the original Obi-Wan Kenobi. Pick one or the other. Either the Sir Alec Guinness version in the form of CGI, or just pull in Ewan McGregor in and kind of make him a little bit older. You know, you can do a little makeup here and there, and that's it. You know, that's what they could do. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.